All right, today we're diving deep into the 13th chapter of the Quran, Surah Ar-Raʿd, which means the thunder. We're going to be walking through a scholarly commentary to really get a handle on its profound vision of God's nature, everything from absolute oneness to this idea of a universe built on perfect measure. So let's get into it.
So this is our guide for today, a really detailed commentary on this chapter. Everything we talk about is pulled directly from this text. We're not just skimming the surface here, we're actually following the commentator's step-by-step analysis to see exactly how this understanding of the divine is constructed.
Here's the path we're going to take. First, we'll kick things off with the absolute foundation, which is oneness. Then we'll explore divine knowledge, this amazing concept of a perfectly measured universe, and how that connects with human action. And finally, we'll tie it all together to see the all-encompassing reality that the commentary is describing.
Okay, so let's start right at the heart of it all. The way this commentary breaks it down, everything in this chapter, and you could say in all of Islamic theology, is built on this central pillar of Tawheed, the absolute oneness of God. The text makes it really clear this isn't just one attribute among many. Now, it's the fundamental reality that everything else flows from.
So what is Tawheed, exactly? It's the core belief in an indivisible, completely unique and singular God. The commentary argues that the verses in this chapter were revealed specifically to hammer this point home and provide the burhan, the rational proof for clear demonstration, against any idea of polytheism. This makes it the non-negotiable starting point for everything else. Now, this idea of absolute oneness has a direct and logical consequence. If God is totally singular, then his attributes must be absolute too. And this brings us right to the nature of divine knowledge. The commentary meticulously unpacks how the Quran describes God's awareness as being completely, utterly without limits.
And the commentary explains the sheer scope of this knowledge by splitting reality into two distinct realms. You've got Alam al-Ghaib, which is the world of the unseen, everything that's hidden from our senses and our direct perception, and then you have Alam al-Shahada, the world of the witnessed, the physical universe we can see and observe. The critical point the text makes is that God's knowledge covers both of these realms perfectly and at the exact same time.
And you see, the verse itself makes this distinction crystal clear, knower of the unseen and the witnessed. Then the commentary points us to the words that follow, the grand, the exalted. It argues that these titles aren't just about power, they are directly connected to the absolute nature of this knowledge. To be the grand is to know everything, both seen and unseen.
So, the crucial takeaway here, the thing that really separates divine knowledge from our own, is that it isn't learned, it's not pieced together, and it's not limited by any single perspective. It is absolute, it is total, and it is simultaneous. This is what creates that unbridgeable gap between the Creator's awareness and the limited acquired knowledge that we have.
This leads us right to our third theme. If God's knowledge is total and his oneness is absolute, what does that imply about the universe he created? Well, the commentary argues it implies a universe of perfect order, of incredible precision and measure. Nothing is left to chance, nothing is chaotic.
The source text really zeroes in on this powerful phrase from verse 8, and everything with him is by due measure. This concept of miqdar, or measure, is absolutely central to the commentary's argument. It means that everything in existence, every single thing, has a predetermined quantity, a specific quality, a location, and a duration. Nothing is random. It's all precisely calibrated.
The commentary presents this as a complete system, not just a one-time event. It starts with a divine decree. That decree then assigns a perfect measure to everything that will ever exist. Then comes the execution, where creation unfolds in perfect sync with that measure. And finally, the whole system is actively sustained moment by moment. It's a vision of a cosmos run by a deliberate and unbroken intelligence.
Now, to make this huge, abstract idea a bit more concrete, the commentary points our attention to a very specific example given in the exact same verse. This example, which is about pregnancy, is used to show the incredible depth and detail of God's knowledge and measure.
And this is where the commentator gets incredibly specific. This knowledge of what every female carries is interpreted as being way more than just the baby's gender. It includes every single stage of biological development. But it goes even further. According to this source, the measure extends to the entire destiny of that person, every action they will ever take, the exact amount of their sustenance, and the precise moment of their death. It's the ultimate example of a universe where everything is intimately known and perfectly measured.
Okay, so a natural question pops up, right? If absolutely everything is by a perfect measure, then what's the role of human beings? This brings us to the fascinating interplay between this huge system of divine will and our own individual actions and responsibilities.
To explain this dynamic, the commentary directs us to verse 11. The verse talks about mu'aqabat, a term the commentary interprets as successive angels who are with every single person. They're described as being in front of and behind him, protecting him by the command of Allah. This introduces a mechanism of direct, constant divine oversight into every human life.
So, what's their job in this system? The commentary explains their role is twofold. First, to protect people from any harm that is not decreed for them, and second, to meticulously record their actions. Their constant presence means that even within a pre-measured universe, our individual choices are known, they're recorded, and they carry weight. This is what establishes the very framework for accountability.
So let's pull all these threads together now. How do oneness, absolute knowledge, perfect measure, and divine oversight combine into one big picture? In this last section, we'll see the complete vision of reality that the commentary has been building for us.
The ultimate takeaway from our source text is this: the universe is not just a collection of random events or competing forces. Not at all. It is a singular, deeply interconnected and cohesive system. And this entire system is governed by one, single, all-knowing and all-powerful source. Everything, from the largest galaxies down to the smallest detail of development in the womb, is part of one unified and purposeful reality.
So, to quickly recap the attributes just as the commentary laid them out, it all starts with absolute oneness. From that flows all-encompassing knowledge, covering both the seen and the unseen. This knowledge results in a creation governed by perfect measure, and the whole system is sustained by a supreme power described as the grand and the exalted.
We'll end with a final question to think about. The commentary presents a reality that is meticulously ordered, known, and measured down to the last detail. So the question it really leaves us with is this: how does viewing the universe as a system of perfect measure, rather than just a series of accidents, shape a person's worldview and their own place within it?